There's a battle happening right now, not outside, but inside. It's between the voice that says, I can't, and the whisper that says, what if I can? It's the quiet war between comfort and growth, between instant pleasure and lasting prosperity. The broke mind seeks survival, the wealthy mind seeks mastery. And the difference isn't in intelligence or luck, it's in mental training. You see, most people are not broke because of the economy. They're broke because of the psychology. Until you win the battle in your mind, no amount of money will change your life. But once you do, even a single dollar can start an empire. Before you ever deposit a dollar into your bank, you must make a deposit into your mind. Because the truth is, your mind is your first and most important account. If that account is full of doubt, fear, and scarcity, then every paycheck, every opportunity, every investment will slip right through your fingers. But when your mind is trained to think in terms of growth, discipline, and abundance, wealth doesn't just visit you, it stays. Most people try to change their income without changing their mindset. But money is just an echo of your philosophy. Change your philosophy, and the numbers will follow. Let me tell you something that changed everything for me. Your mind is the real factory of your fortune. Before a single dollar ever lands in your bank account, it's been shaped, planned, and created in your thoughts. Most people think money begins with opportunity, but opportunity is useless if the mind is unprepared to see it. The truth is, you cannot have $1 million dream with a minimum wage mindset. The greatest asset you will ever own is not your business, your job, or even your time. It's your mind, because everything else flows from it. When I was young, I thought money was about luck. I thought some people were just born into the right families, had the right breaks, or were in the right places. But my mentor asked me one day, what are you doing to prepare your mind for wealth? I didn't even understand the question at first. Prepare my mind? I was trying to pay my bills. But then he explained, wealth is not created by circumstance, it's created by consciousness. The thoughts you hold most often determine the actions you take most consistently. And those actions, repeated long enough, create your results. You see, the poor mind thinks in terms of lack, what's missing, what's unfair, what's not possible. The wealthy mind thinks in terms of creation. What can I learn? What can I build? What's possible for me if I stay disciplined long enough? The poor mind waits for permission. The wealthy mind takes responsibility. If you can train your thoughts to focus on growth, not scarcity, you'll start to see opportunities that were invisible before. It's not that they weren't there, it's that your old beliefs blinded you from seeing them. That's why awareness is key. You must know what you believe about money before you can change it. Write them down, every thought that begins with, I can't, or I'm not, or it's too late. Then challenge each one. Replace it with a new truth. I can learn. I can start small. I can grow. When I began this process, my financial situation didn't change overnight, but my thinking did. And once your thinking changes, your habits follow. Your habits shape your future. Each morning, I want you to spend just 10 minutes visualizing financial freedom, not as a fantasy, but as a plan in motion. Imagine what it feels like to live without fear, to have choices, to give generously. Let that feeling pull you forward. Surround yourself with people who make wealth feel possible, not impossible. You'll find that their mindset rubs off on you. Wealth starts in the invisible, in your thoughts, your words, your attitude. You cannot attract abundance if your mind is occupied with lack. So, make your mind your first investment. Train it daily. Feed it with wisdom. Discipline it with focus. And it will pay you dividends for a lifetime. Because once your mind believes you deserve wealth, your life will begin to prove it. If there's one principle about wealth that I wish everyone would understand early in life, it's this. Money doesn't flow to wishes, it flows to value. You can want all the money in the world, pray for it, visualize it, even work endless hours for it, but until you create value that the marketplace recognizes, the money will always seem to slip through your fingers. You don't get paid for your time, you get paid for the value you bring to that time. The market doesn't reward need, it rewards contribution. And the wonderful thing about that is, you have the power to increase your value starting today. I remember when I was struggling, working long hours, feeling exhausted, and wondering why my paycheck never grew. My mentor said, "You're not paid for how hard you work, you're paid for how valuable you make your work." That hit me hard. I realized I had been confusing activity with achievement. So I began to ask myself a new question. How can I increase my value? And that one question changed the course of my life. You see, the market pays for solutions. The bigger the problem you solve, the greater your reward. Some people spend their days solving small problems, clocking in, clocking out, doing the minimum required, and they wonder why their income never grows. Others, those who rise, look for bigger problems to solve, and they develop the skill, knowledge, and courage to solve them better than anyone else. Every dollar you earn is a reflection of the value you've delivered to someone else's life or business. So if you want to earn more, you must first become more. That's the secret. Don't chase money, chase mastery. Don't wish for less challenge. Build greater competence. Learn something new every quarter that enhances your earning potential. Invest time in skills that multiply your impact, not just your effort. Maybe it's communication, leadership, marketing, or technology, but whatever it is, make improvement your daily habit. When I began speaking and teaching, I didn't set out to make money, I set out to make a difference. And that difference became my income, because wealth follows contribution. Serve more people, and the flow of money will inevitably follow. Every business, every career, every success story is built on this timeless truth. Find a need, fill it, and fill it better than anyone else. So, each morning, instead of asking, "How can I make more money?" ask, "What problem can I solve today? Whose life can I make better?" That shift in focus from desire to value, from self to service, is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. And the beautiful irony is this: when you stop chasing money and start chasing value, money begins to chase you. The marketplace doesn't respond to your wishes, it responds to your worth. So make yourself worthy, make yourself valuable. Because when you do, wealth will have no choice but to find its way to your door. There's a reason why so many people work hard all their lives but never find financial peace. It's not because they don't have opportunity or because they're unlucky. It's because they let emotions run their money instead of principles. You see, emotion is the enemy of wealth. The market doesn't care about how you feel. Your bills don't care whether you're excited or discouraged. Wealth is built by logic, not by impulse. Discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. When I was younger, I let emotions drive too many of my choices. If I felt good, I spent. If I felt uncertain, I hesitated. I remember buying things to impress people who weren't even paying attention and delaying investments because I was afraid of losing. But every one of those emotional decisions cost me far more than I realized. I didn't need more money, I needed more discipline. That's when I learned the rule: never make a major decision in the heat of emotion, whether it's fear, excitement, or frustration. Emotion clouds judgment, and judgment builds or destroys wealth. You see, people don't go broke overnight, they go broke one emotional decision at a time. A swipe here, a splurge there, a little justification everywhere. I deserve this, they say. I'll catch up later. But wealth is not built on comfort, it's built on consistency. If you can't control your impulses, the world will happily control your money for you. That's why you must create systems stronger than your emotions. If you tend to overspend, automate your savings before the money ever hits your hand. If you tend to panic when markets drop, automate your investments so your emotions can't interfere. Build guardrails around your future so you don't crash in moments of weakness. Systems don't have feelings, and that's why they work. Another powerful practice is the 24-hour rule. Anytime you want to buy something non-essential, wait. Let the impulse cool down. If you still want it tomorrow, it's probably a thoughtful decision. But most of the time, the desire fades, and what's left is money still working for you instead of disappearing into another fleeting thrill. Reflect weekly on your triggers. What causes you to spend when you shouldn't, or to freeze when you should act? Awareness is the beginning of control. When you learn to identify emotional patterns, you can begin to replace them with logical systems. And here's the deeper truth. Discipline doesn't remove joy, it multiplies it. When you're in control, you can enjoy your life without guilt or anxiety. You can buy what you want because you've earned it, not because you're trying to feel better. Wealth is not about being cold or calculating. It's about being calm and clear. Emotion builds memories, but logic builds empires. So guard your emotions like a gatekeeper and let discipline take the throne. Because once you master your emotions, you'll master your finances. And once you master your finances, you'll master your future. If you want to know the difference between those who build wealth and those who lose it, it comes down to one simple shift in thinking. The rich think like investors, the poor think like consumers. The consumer mindset asks, what can I buy today? The investor mindset asks, what can I build today that will pay me tomorrow? It's not about how much money you make, it's about what you do with what you make. The rich invest first and spend what's left. The poor spend first and invest what's left, and what's left is usually nothing. I learned this lesson the hard way. When I was broke, every dollar I made already had a plan to disappear. Rent, bills, food, a treat here and there. I told myself I'd start saving once I had more, but that day never came. My mentor asked me one day, how long have you been saying one day? Because one day is costing you every day. That was the moment I understood. I wasn't managing money, money was managing me. And money only respects those who give it purpose. You have to start seeing every dollar as a seed, not as a toy. When you spend without direction, you eat your seed. When you invest with intention, you plant your orchard. The wealthy plant before they play. They let their money work before they let it wander. You can do the same, no matter your income. Follow the 7-0-1-0-1-0-1-0 rule. Live on 70%, invest 10%, learn with 10%, and give 10%. That balance creates not just wealth, but wisdom. You're not just managing cash, you're managing character. Start small. Redirect one weekly expense, that morning coffee, that subscription, that impulse buy, into an investment fund. It's not the amount that matters, it's the habit. When you change the direction of even $1, you begin to change your destiny. Over time, those small decisions compound into something far greater, freedom. And here's what's fascinating. Once you start thinking like an investor, your relationship with money changes completely. You stop asking, "Can I afford it?" and start asking, "Will it serve my future?" You begin to study assets, how they grow, how they compound, how they protect you. You learn about ownership, not just earnings. You stop chasing trends and start chasing timeless principles, patience, consistency, discipline. When you buy something as a consumer, it gives you pleasure for a moment. When you invest as an owner, it gives you confidence for a lifetime. That's why wealthy people don't just look rich, they are rich, because their money works harder than they do. So today, I challenge you, before you spend another dollar, ask yourself, is this money working for me, or am I working for it? The day you start thinking like an investor is the day your financial life begins to change. Because in the end, it's not the amount that counts, it's the mindset behind it. Spend for comfort, and you'll stay comfortable. Invest for growth, and you'll become unstoppable. There's a truth about money that most people never learn. You don't get paid by the hour, you get paid for the value you bring to the hour. You earn according to who you are, not what you do. And that means if you want to have more, you must become more. You can't attract wealth beyond your level of growth. The size of your income will rarely exceed the size of your personal development. I used to believe that all I needed was an opportunity, that if I could just find the right job, meet the right person, or catch the right break, everything would change. But then I realized, even if the opportunity came, I wasn't prepared to handle it. You don't grow rich by luck, you grow rich by capacity. And capacity is built through development. When I met my mentor, I was broke, frustrated, and filled with excuses. He said, "You can't change your income until you change yourself." I thought that was harsh at first, but I later discovered it was the most liberating truth I'd ever heard. Because it meant I wasn't stuck, I was just unfinished. See, money is a reflection of value, and value is a reflection of who you've become. If you develop more skill, more discipline, more insight, more awareness, you automatically attract more opportunity. The marketplace rewards excellence, not existence. There are plenty of people who show up every day, but only a few who show up prepared, educated, and exceptional. So if you want your pay to rise, don't wait for your boss, the economy, or the government. Raise your standards, make yourself worth more. Start simple. Read 10 pages of a good book every day, something that stretches your thinking. Books are the cheapest mentors you'll ever find, and they never miss an appointment. Attend at least one seminar or workshop every quarter. There's something powerful about being in a room full of people who are learning, growing, and striving for more. It shifts your perspective, it lifts your energy, and it reminds you that growth is possible. And seek feedback from people who challenge you, not those who simply comfort you. Growth doesn't come from applause, it comes from awareness. When I began speaking and teaching, I wasn't very good. I stumbled, I repeated myself, I doubted my message. But instead of quitting, I studied communication, I practiced daily, I listened to feedback, and slowly, I became the kind of person who could stand on any stage with confidence. My income followed my improvement, not the other way around. Remember this, success isn't something you chase, it's something you attract by the person you become. Your money, your opportunities, your influence, they all rise to meet the level of your development. So don't just work harder on your job, work harder on yourself. Learn faster, grow stronger, think deeper. Because when you elevate who you are, wealth can't help but find you. And when it does, you'll be ready to keep it, grow it, and multiply it, because you've built the character to match the cash. Imagine this. Most people are in a hurry to get rich, flipping through get-rich-quick schemes, hoping one leap will deliver instant results. But the truth is, wealth doesn't arrive as a surprise party. It shows up like a quiet companion to patience, persistence, and careful planning. You see, impatience is the silent killer of financial dreams. Those who chase fast results often end up with empty pockets and heavy regrets. Real prosperity is born from the compounding of effort, knowledge, and disciplined action over time. Just as a tree doesn't sprout overnight, nor does it bear fruit in the first season, your financial foundation requires tending, nurturing, and unwavering patience. To harness the power of patience, you must shift your perspective from days and weeks to years and decades. Wealth isn't about a single transaction or a sudden windfall. It's about repeated, consistent decisions that build momentum. Every investment, every skill you learn, every dollar you save compounds quietly until, eventually, the results are undeniable. The key is to commit to long-term thinking and trust the process, even when immediate gratification tempts you to abandon it. Practical action transforms this philosophy into reality. Begin by creating a 10-year vision for your wealth and life. Define not only the numbers you aim to achieve, but the person you must become to reach them. Review your progress every 90 days, not to panic over what hasn't happened, but to adjust your approach and stay aligned with your goals. Small tweaks, consistent effort, and course corrections keep the ship steady through turbulent waters. Equally important is celebrating discipline, not just results. Rewarding yourself for consistent, patient action reinforces behavior that compounds into success. It's easy to focus on the scoreboard, but true wealth is built in the invisible moments, the habits, decisions, and patience exercised every day. Remember, time is your greatest ally when paired with discipline. We often think wealth is a matter of motivation, a spark that propels us towards success. Yet motivation is fleeting. Some days you feel inspired, other days you don't. Relying on motivation alone is like trying to row a boat using only the waves. You go where the mood takes you, not where you intend to go. Real wealth, the kind that lasts and compounds over time, is built on systems, not sporadic bursts of enthusiasm. Systems transform action into routine and routine into results. Consider this. Successful people don't wake up every day hoping to feel motivated to save, invest, or study. They've created systems that make these actions automatic. Saving a portion of income isn't a daily decision, it's automatic. Investing isn't left to emotion, it happens on a schedule. Tracking expenses, reviewing growth, learning new skills, all of these are embedded in systems that operate whether you feel motivated or not. That's how ordinary people turn into extraordinary achievers. The first step is to automate discipline wherever possible. Set up automatic transfers to savings and investment accounts. Make it impossible to miss your financial commitments because the system itself handles it. Habit replaces reliance on willpower, and momentum begins to build without daily struggle. Schedule weekly reviews of your finances. Make it a non-negotiable appointment. Reflection and adjustment become part of the system, ensuring your money works as efficiently as you do. Morning and evening routines cement growth further. Dedicate time daily to reading, learning, and reflecting on progress. These routines prime your mind to identify opportunities, make better decisions, and reinforce your wealth mindset. Small, consistent actions embedded in these systems create compounding results far more powerful than occasional bursts of motivation. Remember, motivation is the spark, but systems are the engine. Design your life so that wealth-building behaviors are automatic, habitual, and relentless. In time, success becomes inevitable. You see, most people spend their lives focusing on what they don't have. They look at their bank account and sigh. They glance at their opportunities and complain. They watch others succeed and feel envy rising in their chest. And in doing so, they miss one of the most powerful forces for wealth and success: gratitude. You might think gratitude is soft, sentimental, something to practice when things are easy. But I've learned and observed that gratitude is a muscle. The stronger it is, the more it attracts abundance into your life. If you can learn to be genuinely thankful for what you already have, no matter how modest, your mind begins to see opportunities that were invisible before. Frustration melts away. Focus sharpens. Greed turns into purposeful action. Here's what I found works. Each night, before you rest your head, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be monumental. It could be a friend who made you laugh, a client who trusted you, or even the lesson you learned from a mistake. These small acknowledgments are seeds. When you plant them consistently, they grow into a mindset that attracts bigger wins. You start to notice deals, investments, and opportunities that others ignore because they're too busy lamenting what they lack. I've known people who, after practicing gratitude daily, transformed their business decisions. They no longer feared risk because they recognized what they already had and could build upon it. Another simple practice is to pause before complaining. How many times do we reflexively voice dissatisfaction without even thinking? Before you speak your complaint, say thank you, thank your circumstances, thank the people who challenge you, thank yourself for the effort you're putting in. It's a shift in energy, a signal to your mind that abundance is present even amid challenge. I've seen this principle turn average performers into unstoppable achievers simply because their energy became aligned with growth instead of scarcity. Finally, acknowledge small wins. Every time you complete a task, make a sale, learn a skill, or even resist a wasteful purchase, recognize it. These wins compound over time. They're the building blocks of wealth, just like interest compounds in a bank. When you train your mind to notice and appreciate these small victories, your confidence grows, your actions multiply, and suddenly, the path to financial success seems not only possible, but inevitable. Remember, gratitude is not a distraction from ambition. It is the very engine that fuels it. You see, desire is everywhere. Everyone wants to be rich, to have security, to live comfortably, and to experience the freedom that money can provide. Desire is easy. You can dream about yachts, vacations, or financial freedom, and it costs nothing. But wealth is not the product of desire alone. It is the result of discipline, that quiet, often invisible force that turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. I've met countless people who talk about wanting success, yet they fail to take the small, consistent steps required. They wait for motivation to strike, or they chase the next big opportunity, hoping it will solve all their problems. Discipline is far rarer than desire, and it is the true differentiator between those who accumulate wealth and those who merely wish for it. Discipline begins with consistency. You must commit to daily, weekly, and monthly routines that align with your financial goals. Saving and investing are not optional behaviors. They are non-negotiable acts of self-respect and foresight. I remember early in my life when I started working with very limited income. It would have been easy to spend on fleeting pleasures. Yet I chose to allocate even a small portion of my earnings into savings and self-education. That disciplined habit compounded over the years, not only financially but mentally. Every dollar saved was a dollar put to work. Every lesson learned became a tool to leverage opportunities that others overlooked. Discipline allowed me to act even when desire waned or when circumstances were difficult. One practical step is to make saving and investing automatic. Set up systems where a percentage of your income is transferred into investments the moment it arrives. Treat this like a bill, something you must pay first before indulging in non-essentials. The same applies to budgeting. Planning purchases, delaying gratification, and investing in assets rather than liabilities is the essence of disciplined behavior. Over time, this creates a compounding effect far more powerful than luck or talent. Another critical habit is reviewing your financial behaviors regularly. Weekly reflection allows you to identify areas where impulse or emotion might have disrupted your plan. Perhaps a small indulgence was harmless in isolation, but repeated patterns erode wealth. By monitoring your habits, you gain awareness and the power to correct course before problems escalate. Discipline, after all, is not rigidity. It's intelligent consistency guided by purpose. The truth is, desire alone will never build wealth. It will motivate for a moment, but it is discipline that sustains action over years, even decades. Desire may spark the journey, but discipline carries you across the finish line. If you want wealth, start seeing discipline as your most valuable currency. And let your actions, not your wishes, define your financial life. Wealth is built quietly, steadily, and reliably through discipline. Many people make the mistake of chasing money directly, thinking that if they pursue dollars relentlessly, wealth will magically appear. I can tell you from experience, that approach rarely works. Money is not attracted to desire. It is attracted to competence. Wealth is a natural byproduct of mastery. If you want to make money, focus first on becoming so good at what you do that your value cannot be ignored. I remember early in my career, I wasn't the most brilliant salesman in the room, nor did I have an extraordinary product. What I did have was a commitment to mastery. I studied, practiced, and learned everything I could about sales negotiation and human behavior. Over time, my competence created opportunities, and money followed. Mastery begins with daily dedication. You must invest time consistently into learning, practicing, and refining your craft. I recommend dedicating at least 1 hour every day to improvement. It may seem small in the moment, but over weeks, months, and years, that 1 hour compounds like interest in a bank account. Read books, attend seminars, listen to experts, and most importantly, apply what you learn. Knowledge without action is useless, just as desire without discipline is empty. Excellence comes from doing, practicing, and relentlessly seeking to improve. Another critical strategy is to study those at the top of your field. Observe their habits, learn their techniques, and understand the mindset that propels them forward. Don't copy blindly. Model what works while adding your unique perspective. Excellence is contagious. Surround yourself with high performers, and your standards will naturally rise. The market rewards competence, and the better you become, the more opportunity will naturally come your way. Once mastery is achieved, wealth is a side effect. Competence can be turned into multiple streams of income: consulting, teaching, creating products, or offering premium services. Your skill itself becomes a lever that multiplies your impact and income. But remember, the pursuit of money alone without developing skill is the dead-end path. People will always find someone cheaper or easier to exploit. Only mastery ensures long-term success and security. Finally, excellence is also a personal brand. People remember quality, reliability, and skill. By committing to being exceptional, you not only attract money, but also influence, trust, and opportunities that others cannot access. Chase mastery, and money will chase you. Wealth is never the goal. Competence and value creation are. If you focus on becoming irreplaceable, the dollars will follow naturally. Many people make the mistake of charging ahead to build wealth without first ensuring their foundation is secure. They pursue opportunities, invest aggressively, and dream of riches, but all it takes is one unexpected event, a medical emergency, a market downturn, or a job loss, and years of progress can vanish overnight. Offense builds wealth, but defense keeps it. You cannot prosper for long if you are constantly repairing losses. I learned this early in life when I saw colleagues chase opportunities without protection, only to have unforeseen problems wipe out their gains. That lesson taught me the importance of preparing for the storms before setting sail toward success. The first step is to build a strong financial base. An emergency fund is not optional. It is a prerequisite for true freedom. I recommend maintaining at least 6 months of living expenses in a readily accessible account. This buffer allows you to take calculated risks without fear because you know that, come what may, your basic needs are covered. Think of it as the financial equivalent of wearing armor before entering battle. It doesn't make you invincible, but it gives you confidence and security to take bold action. Insurance is another critical component of defense. Health, life, and property insurance protect against the uncertainties that could otherwise derail your plans. I remember when a friend's business went under because a single unexpected accident drained all his resources. Proper insurance could have preserved years of work and allowed him to rebuild quickly. Regularly reviewing your coverage ensures it remains aligned with your current circumstances, because as you grow, so do your risks. Diversification is the third pillar. Concentrating all your resources in one venture, one stock, or one market exposes you to unnecessary danger. Spreading your investments across different asset types and industries reduces the impact of a single failure. In my own journey, I've learned to balance high growth opportunities with steady, reliable assets. This combination allows offense, pursuing wealth, without neglecting defense. Finally, review your financial position regularly. A disciplined approach to protecting what you have ensures that your wealth can grow without interruption. True prosperity is not measured by the dollars you earn, but by the stability and security you maintain while you earn them. Build defense before chasing offense, and you'll have the confidence to pursue opportunities boldly and wisely. Protection is not a sign of fear, it's a sign of foresight. Secure your foundation and your wealth will have room to grow. One of the most important lessons I've learned in life is that those who produce lead, those who consume follow. Producers rule the world, consumers fund it. Too often, people wake up and spend their day acquiring things, entertainment, gadgets, or fleeting pleasures without ever pausing to create something of lasting value. They live for the paycheck, only to spend it immediately, never considering the power of building something that could outlast them. I remember my early days in sales, when I focused on producing results, making calls, building relationships, creating opportunities, before thinking about the rewards. It was in those moments of creation that doors began to open. Creating before consuming is more than a habit. It's a mindset. It means every action you take should be aimed at producing value, whether that's for yourself, your business, or the people you serve. The wealthy understand that true abundance flows from production. Consumption alone will never generate wealth. It only circulates the wealth already created by others. This doesn't mean you should never enjoy life, but it does mean you should earn the right to enjoy it through creation first. Every purchase or indulgence should come as a reward for value produced, not as an escape from responsibility. To put this into practice, start by committing to create something every day. It could be a new idea, a piece of content, a product, a skill you develop, or a service you provide. Small daily acts of production compound over time. I often recommend tracking the value you generate weekly. Write down what you produced, what impact it had, and how it moves you closer to your financial and personal goals. This reflection reinforces the habit of creation, making it easier to prioritize output over input. Delaying consumption is equally important. Before you buy something for pleasure, ask yourself, have I produced enough value today to earn this? This simple mental check rewires your brain to think like a creator. You begin to see money as a tool for investment and growth, rather than just a means to satisfy immediate wants. In my own life, I've delayed countless purchases until after producing value, and it has consistently allowed me to grow faster than I could have by indulging first. Remember, creating before consuming shifts your identity from a taker to a contributor. It aligns your actions with long-term success and ensures that every reward is earned. When you live by this principle, wealth becomes not just possible, but inevitable. Produce first, consume later, and you will always be ahead. As I reflect on life, I've come to realize that wealth is only as meaningful as the impact it leaves behind. Making money is easy compared to making a difference. Too many people focus solely on lifestyle, the cars, the houses, the vacations, and when life passes, all that remains is memories and often regrets. But legacy is different. Legacy is what endures. It's the wisdom, values, and structures you leave that continue to shape lives long after you're gone. I remember meeting a successful entrepreneur who had accumulated millions but had never shared his knowledge or empowered others. When he passed, his wealth didn't inspire, teach, or grow. It vanished like so much smoke. Contrast that with those who think in terms of legacy. Their influence stretches generations far beyond what their bank account could reflect. Thinking legacy, not lifestyle, begins with a shift in perspective. Every financial goal, every decision should be measured not only by the benefit it provides today, but by the impact it can create tomorrow. This is why I always recommend aligning wealth with purpose. Ask yourself, if I were gone tomorrow, what difference would my wealth make? How can I ensure it benefits others, teaches them, and multiplies in value? When your financial decisions serve a higher purpose, your mindset changes. You begin to invest in people, knowledge, and systems, not just possessions. Practically, this starts with documenting principles and lessons for future generations. Write down what you've learned, the strategies, the failures, the mindset shifts. Money alone doesn't teach, your wisdom does. Consider creating charitable or educational funds that support causes you care about, ensuring your wealth works even when you no longer do. Mentorship is equally powerful. Teaching others isn't just about instructing them on how to make money. It's about imparting the mindset and discipline that allow them to sustain it and grow beyond you. In my own life, I've seen mentees flourish not because of the tools I gave them, but because of the habits, discipline, and perspectives I shared, the kind of guidance that money alone cannot buy. When you embrace this principle, wealth becomes a vehicle for contribution, and success transforms into significance. You'll spend less chasing status and more creating systems, values, and impact that endure. Legacy thinking turns ordinary actions into extraordinary influence. It gives your work meaning beyond your own life and transforms your wealth from a personal treasure into a communal resource. Focus on legacy, not lifestyle, and your wealth will echo long after you're gone. As we come to the close of this journey together, I want you to pause and reflect on what it really means to build wealth. Not just the kind of wealth you can touch, spend, or flaunt, but the kind of wealth that shapes your life, your habits, and ultimately your legacy. Too often, people chase money for the sake of money, hoping it will fill the voids in their life. But real wealth is a result of growth, personal growth, intellectual growth, emotional growth, and the growth of your ability to contribute. The rich are not just those with high bank balances. They are people who understand themselves, who have mastered their thoughts, their habits, and their relationships, and who use money as a tool to multiply value in their own lives and in the lives of others. Think about the principles we've discussed. Every dollar you earn can work for you if you assign it a purpose. Every hour you spend learning compounds into skills that pay dividends for a lifetime. Every moment you invest in discipline, patience, and gratitude builds an invisible foundation that no market crash, no economic downturn, and no external circumstance can shake. Wealth starts in the mind long before it shows up in the wallet. If you want to change your financial reality, the first step is to change the way you think, the way you act, and the way you value your time and energy. The difference between the wealthy and the struggling is rarely intelligence. It is consistency, focus, and the courage to act on what you know. So here is your call to action. Start today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Write down your financial goals, your growth goals, and your legacy goals. Assign every dollar a job. Allocate time each day to learn something new that increases your value. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, who inspire you, and who refuse to let you settle for mediocrity. Replace distraction with education, fear with action, and doubt with gratitude. Take one small step, then another, and keep moving. Momentum builds quietly but powerfully. One action compounded daily becomes transformation. Remember, wealth is not about luck, inheritance, or shortcuts. It's about consistent, intelligent choices made over time, guided by a vision that transcends the next paycheck. Think long-term, focus on mastery, protect before you prosper, and always create before you consume. Make your life a masterpiece of contribution, growth, and meaning. If you do this, money will follow not as the goal, but as the natural outcome of your disciplined, intentional, and value-driven life. Start now. Build today. Your future self, wealthy, wise, and free, is already waiting for you.